G'day comrade subscribers. So working on the Speccy a bit more. I've run into some issues. As you see, I haven't completely finished. I can't remember where we left off last time, but as you can see, I have started putting the Spectrum stripes on, spraying them on, which is probably not the best way of doing it. Probably should be painting them on by hand, I think, with a paintbrush. But hey, hindsight. So yeah, I still need to do the blue and the green, but you can see I put the keyboard back in. The keyboard is looking much nicer. Feels quite nice to use. I'm not sure if it's entirely working though, because I have actually run into some issues with the Speccy. So what have I been doing? So let's see. I've decided, rather than putting in the 240 volt transformer, let me just grab it. Here it is. So this is what came originally, UK plug obviously, installed in this section up in the corner here. So I don't know where it came from. It's obviously been cracked out of a plug pack or something. You can see it's got a big crack across the board there, so that they've soldered across there, and you can also see that they've cut out these two sections here to allow it to fit on the board here, which as a result they've got these bodge wires in. So yeah, I'm not going to use this. let's get rid of that. So I've decided just to go for 9 volts directly in. What was I going to say? There's no rectifier, so I think I've got I thought I made it center negative, but I think I've actually made it center positive, which is fine, whatever. Right, so what else have I done? So the bottom case is complete. So I've sprayed it 3 times with black and then given it 3 coats of gloss, clear. So the bottom's okay. I've added in new rubber feet, brand new rubber feet. I've also put in some extra hole screws. So originally it just had a pair of screws here which held the ZX interface 1 and the board in, but I've added in these additional screws just so everything is now rock solid. Yeah, so I've done that. I did that last time, the regulator. Now obviously I've put the keyboard back in. So your top case isn't finished yet. I need to probably give it another spray paint with black. But like I said, the keyboard's completely clean. Yeah, some yellow there. Reset button I've replaced. I put in a new reset button. And I've put in brand new mic and ear sockets with brand new right angle plugs. For the keyboard, I was thinking of maybe replacing these with pin headers, but what I've done instead is I've used some glued heat shrink just to make this connection here more mechanically solid, reliable, I guess, because it was getting bent at a right angle and the wires were getting a bit dodgy. So now that's nice and firm. I think I'm going to replace this. This is the original. So the way it works is that power comes in. So this to the transformer, which is then supplied up to the keyboard, and then from the keyboard it's supplied down to the Speccy. So I'm going to replace this. I might actually replace this as well, because what I've been waiting for, some from AliExpress, 10-day delivery. So I've got some right angle, hopefully they fit there. So I've got some right angle, ooh, it's a close one, right angle DC sockets now as well. So I might actually replace that one there so that it goes up to the keyboard nicely. Nice right angle once it goes in, I guess, if I can fit it in. Let's see, can I actually get it in? I might have to take the keyboard out. Or I might have to replace that anyway. They do look to be the same. Yep, replace this. Oh, so what else have I done? Oh, so I got a viewer offering, viewer contribution, all the way from, first one, Serbia, from Serbia. So I've never been to Serbia or Yugoslavia. Probably the closest I've been to is Albania. I've been to Albania, but I've never been to Yugoslavia. So big thanks to Ivan. So he sent me in this little box here one of his 128K RAM expansion modules. So this isn't his original design. He's built on a design by a Czech fellow. But anyway, link in the video description to Ivan's GitHub, where it's all the information. So thank you very much, Ivan. So to get this to work, you need to disable the upper 32K of RAM. So we've got the lower 16K, and then we've got the upper 32K. So that's what that is. Okay, that's what that is there. This is the reset. So, yeah, okay, reset button. What I've done with the reset button is I've just made it so that you can disconnect it if you're pulling it apart. Same with the 32K, but I haven't drilled a hole for that yet. What have I done with it? Yeah, I'm thinking this is just something, a switch I had handy. The problem is I think it's too short. It's not long enough, I think. It's long enough like that, but if you're pulling everything apart, I think you need it slightly longer. So yeah, so what I've done there is I've socketed the chip that you need to, I think, is it CAS or something? You CAS, you force high, something like that. So it'll never address the upper 32K, which means that you can, yeah, something like that. So yep, so I still need to fix that. But yeah, so problem why that's taken so long is that I've run into issues. It started misbehaving, nothing to do with Ivan's thing. So I'm not sure. So I've got Charlie's VLA 82 installed here as well. Sorry, I should probably go in closer. Which kind of helped, I think, maybe, I'm not sure. So with Charlie's VLA 82, you can also get RGB output. So he offers two options. So the one option here is the internal one. So I think this is a 10-pin mini DIN. It's supposed to be the same pin out as the Harlequin. So obviously you take out the modulator can here, and then you can solder this in place right there, and then you've got RGB out in your normal Speccy case, and then this just I think plugs in under here like that. Alternatively, he's provided an external, so I'm not sure. So this is like an external one that you can do something with, but it's got I think this is the same as the Spectrum Plus 2 pinout, and also you've got your stereo, I think it's stereo or mono or whatever, you know, or audio out there. So I've got two options. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. So I've got this, I ordered this from AliExpress, or no, from Amazon, I think. It's actually a a cable for a CD player or something. And but obviously, again, going right angle because of the back of the case here. I think it goes in that way, doesn't it? So I could install that there and then run this to somewhere else, but I'm not worried about RGB at the moment. I want the Speccy to run. So that's where I'm at. So I think I'm going to make up some new power cables, and then we'll give it a power on, and you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, Sorry, bloody hell, 9 minutes I've been talking. Apologies for that. Okay, there we go. So that one's replaced with a nice right angle. So that's again, that's the one that goes to the Speccy from the keyboard. So I think that's it for the keyboard. I've got some put some crapped on tape on, so I don't know if that's gonna how well it's gonna hold it, but yeah. All right, so keyboard's done. There's actually one thing I noticed. So it's got, for example, a delete key. Normally on the Speccy, I think you go, I can't remember, is it Shimble Shift or Shift, or anyway, the delete's up here. So when I've been using it, pressing delete, I've been getting 0. But then when I do Shift delete, I get delete. So I thought that maybe that this is supposed to be, so I'm just wondering if there's some issue with the keyboard not having any documentation. But yeah, so yeah, here I was thinking of replacing these with some, let me show you, thinking of some 5-way, I need to order some more actually from AliExpress. So, put the 5-way cable there, pin header there obviously, that I can then go and replace on the Speccy and just plug into pin headers. But these, I think now that I've put the glued heat shrink on there, I think these should be pretty well, better than the original membrane. Okay, now to the Speccy. Oh, I need to do the other power cable. Right, so the power input, I did do this, and I did make this existing hole a little bigger, but it doesn't really, I guess I could stick it there and then maybe put some hot snot on it, hot glue perhaps, to hold it in place, or I could just actually make this a bit deeper. No, I know people don't like it when I use the soldering iron. I'll file it. So yeah, so I'll replace this one, make sure I get it. I'm gonna, yeah, might as well do it center negative. So these wires are set up to be center positive. So obviously if I want to be center negative, then I connect the red one to negative, don't I? But in this case, yeah, I just want to make sure I connect to the center, which obviously I didn't do properly. I must have got it around the wrong way. Anyway, slowly getting there. So I don't know, what do you reckon? Better than drilling another hole. It's nice and solid. So it's a right angle plug. So this is center negative now. Yeah, center negative. Basically the same polarity all the way through. So this plugs into the keyboard, and then under there, and then the keyboard plugs into the Speccy. So we're all right angle there. I've added in the 32K disable switch. I was thinking, do I put it on the top? I thought no, I'll just put it on the side here. And I've just soldered some pin headers to it so that I can just plug it into here. And I've used some hot glue on top of the chip just so it doesn't move around and break the wire off the chip legs. So that's that. That's the reset wire, which I notice I don't want to get that all tangled up. What else? I think, yeah, so I'm still just going to do the composite output. So just temporarily I'm reusing, so this is the plug that they use for the UHF output here. So they had that in there going down to a socket on the board there. So I've just run this in temporarily, you know, because I want to get the machine working, and then I'll sort out the RGB later. So actually I do have some heat shrink on there as it comes around, so I'll sort that out with some heat shrink there and bend it. So it means I should be able to close up the case, and we'll see. So the changes I've made, so it was working, so I have replaced the regulator, but it was after I took this one out. So it was working, but then I put the case on and it wasn't working. So I don't know. So I've got the original ULA, but I've also got the VLA82. Yeah, all right, let's give it a go here. So power input plugs into the keyboard. And it does actually fit properly, it's just because of the angle here, I think. Like that. Okay. Let's just double check. We've got continuity. Center, alright. And outer. And there's no... Yep, alright, all good. Center to center. Right, so now... that plugs into... So maybe I should put some hot glue up here. So that plugs into Speccy. Okay, that's the reset switch. Is it long enough? There we go, reset switch. That's the 32K RAM switch. Okay, these are the tape. Not too worried about these at the moment. But yeah, they're right angle as well. Okay, now I just got to plug the keyboard in. So I'm thinking maybe I could have made these a bit shorter perhaps. Okay, keyboard. Okay, everything's plugged in. Use right angle plug, so I just need to turn them to the right. And then force it closed. So you can see the power plug there. Go over a bit to the side. I think. So they cut this bit out here for the ZX interface. Let's have a peek what's causing the problem. Okay. Am I trying to be too good? So, I don't know, maybe those cassette cables, maybe. What else? Everything else looks okay. Maybe those cassette cables are probably because they're a little bit too close together, so they can't go flush. Well, I could maybe turn one the other way. All right, let's fiddle around for a bit. I think that'll be okay for now. Still a work in progress. Yeah, see, they've kind of made it a bit weaker here by cutting out this plastic here. I wonder if I could maybe somehow... Although that probably doesn't help. It's sitting a bit too... It's sitting a bit too far out. I wish, yeah, it's a bit too long. Could have been, if it was shorter. Yeah, it's a bit, if it was just a bit more of a snub nose, then it might be okay. Although, how about if I turn it around that way? Anyway, I'm not going to spend 3 hours trying to close this case. Just want to see if it works. All right. Okay, let me get set up. So, where's my power cable? Okay. Center negative, I have verified we've got 9 volts. center negative, so, and there's no on off. So plug her in. And yeah, okay, this is what I was getting before. So getting garble. Press the reset button. You get the garble again. So it's like, I don't know, screen RAM? Screen, no, there is no, it uses the main RAM, doesn't it? The ROM. So, and then that happens when I press 1. But then it was working. So if I take it out of the case, so press reset again. Alright. Alright, so if I power off, I should add, and so that's the, alright, different effect. It's more colourful, isn't it? Reset. Power off. Power on. Yeah, so this is what was happening before. So it was working before I started fiddling around. All right, let's stop that recording. All right, so power off. Actually, let me get on-off switch added. Right, so yeah, so I think let's try. So I was getting the same effect regardless of the ULA I was using. So I don't know if there's something, because I did test the switch. I have tested this 32K disable switch by doing, you know, print peak blah 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 plus 256 times peak something. So whatever that command is to check what the upper RAM is, and you get either 16 or 32 or something, or 32 and 65 or something, I can't remember. Anyway, so I did test, so this does actually work, but I'm now getting that garbled output. So I've disconnected the cassette. Of course I know I've got the ZX interface 1 connected, maybe that's causing issues, but it was working fine. So I can like I say, disconnect everything, right? Disconnect the. So now we've just got the VLA, even the keyboard's disconnected. So all we've got connected is the power, which I could probably just run straight in. Okay. Let's try. All right, we'll try powering on again. Power on here. Don't know if this switches on or off. All right, yep, so still getting garbled. Yep, so surprise, surprise, I'm not an expert on the Speccy. This definitely was working, you saw it working. So I'm not sure what I've done. Let's say I'll put the original VLA, ULA in. Unless something else has failed since. So the only thing I've done is remove this, whatever this one was, I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, and put a socket in. And unfortunately the socket is slightly larger, I didn't realise, but there was an extra 2 holes and I've put it in, but the holes aren't connected. And I have checked, it does all look okay. And like I said, it was working. It was working when I replaced this, because I was switching between 16 and 48K. But it's just gone a bit funny since then. Okay, let me power off. So I don't know. Yeah, so I'm not sure what else I've done. I'll put the original ULA in just so you can see it's the same effect, and then we'll have a close-up look at the book. So I've got to go down to Sydney again tomorrow. So I'm going to have to do some research. But obviously, if you know what that kind of graphics means, then that would be great. But yeah, I need to obviously troubleshoot this so I can get moving and try out Ivan's 128K RAM expansion. So yeah, let me swap that out. We'll give it another quick test. Okay, I think we're ready. So original ULA is back in. Here's Charlie's VLA 82 there. And we power on. And yeah, so garbled thing is again. I'm just thinking that, so this is the ROM here, I believe, isn't it? So maybe I should desocket that. Remove that ROM, put a socket in, and then try one of those troubleshooting ROMs perhaps. Maybe that might be the way to go. But yeah, so I'm not sure. I've never seen this one, but working on all the Soviet, ex-Soviet, post-Soviet Speccies as well, I've never seen this sort of output. So I'm not sure. Well, anyway, that's where I'm at. Slowly moving along. Hopefully there was some interest. Bye for now. I almost forgot. I said I'd give you a close-up of the board in case you can spot anything wrong that I've done. So I know there are, on this machine, there are other things that should be done, like replacing, I think, these two transistors, but I don't have replacements for them. I could probably replace some of these electrolytics, 1 microfarad axials. So that's the upper 32K RAM there. And then that's the lower 16K. So obviously I've modified this. This has just got a 100 microfarad electrolytic in there for the composite out. Yeah, composite, yeah, because it is colour. That's the original ULA. So this is the wiring for the reset. I've just gone for where it was originally. I think I've. So that's where the reset was originally. It was between there and there. And as we see, the reset does work. And so this is obviously the chip that I've socketed. A bit of a mess, but yeah, I don't think. Well, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's okay. Well, it was okay. Like I said, it was working, but now it's stopped working. So, with that same effect. All right, I'll get the board out. So that's where I've screwed it in. I don't think that's causing a short. That was where the original screws were, but they wasn't screwed in. Over here. Although yeah, that is, you can see, I think that is what the ground line, but it's not connected through to anything. And there. All right, I'll get it out and flip it over. Here's the underside. I just did give it a quick test, disconnected from the interface 1, just powered directly, and yeah, exactly the same effect. So that's the ROM, that's the Z80. So yeah, that's there's my handiwork, and I'm pretty sure I did check it all and I couldn't see anything. Don't know what makes it easier to see. I will double check. Yeah, I think, I know there's, sorry, I can't zoom in too much. There is a bridge there by the looks of it. I think it was already there, but I will, yeah, like I said, it was working. It was working. Pretty sure it was working. So, yeah, there we go. All right, issue 2. I think it's issue 2 board. Was it issue 2? Yeah. So there we go. More work to do. All right, so yeah, it's getting pretty late. I haven't packed my bags yet, so quick edit, upload, and hopefully you guys find this of interest. Bye for now again.